We finally broke him.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown, the unofficial sumo podcast for official sumo fans. This is Ryan.
Oh, this is Jake. Sorry, Flyric usually goes before
Where's
me.
Flyric? This is Mac, and we're missing Flyric.
We are missing Flyric, unfortunately, due to some scheduling conflicts and a bit of a tuffle that he and Mac got in. Mac earned the right to be in this episode. Flyric might have left his mark, but Mac won the war.
You know,
Piece of Flyric is with me always.
Yeah, I think the scheduling conflict is that he was due for a punishment this episode.
Yeah.
He remembered that it was going to be the spicy challenge. He's like, oh, yeah, oh, no, I got something going on every day this week.
I got to floss that night.
Yeah.
Shoot, sorry.
Darn it. But this, even without one of our members, this is our preview for the upcoming Kyushu Basho, or Kyushu preview shoe. We are recording this on Monday, November 4th, 6 days prior to the Basho. So the same caveats as always. We don't know all of the news on who will be participating, but we have some educated guesses. Before we dive into the sumo, we do want to mention that we have a Patreon that has multiple tiers for anybody to join if they would like. All of the money donated to the Patreon goes to improving the quality of the podcast and giving back to the fans. None of it is landing directly in our pockets. It's like we give away the free t-shirt every Basho. We send out the sumo trading cards to our patrons. We've also recently upgraded
nice
our
microphones.
mics.
Yeah,
Yep.
These are awesome.
So, yeah, it's all about giving back to the community and improving the quality of our podcast. There's 3 different tiers that you can join. There's the $1 friend of the show tier. You get a compliment upon signing up, and you get access to the Grand Sumo Breakdown Discord server. The $2 card collector level, you get the server and the compliment. You also have the chance to ask for a duplicate trading card, like one that Mac is holding of the debuting Shishi this Basho. Every couple of months, I will open up a pack of 120 trading cards. Inevitably, there will be doubles, and I put all of the doubles up for grabs for all of our patrons for no additional fee. And
Daddy's got to get his first, though.
What's that?
Daddy's got to get his first, though. And then you give away the seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not just going to give away all of my cards. Speaking of which, there's a new Pokemon trading card game app, and I am way too deep into that. Unsurprisingly, I have gotten obsessed with the Pokemon trading card app.
Ryan, his wife, and his daughter came over to our place because we did trick-or-treating together with our kids.
It's worse for my wife.
Both of them were on their phone so much. Like,
I didn't know Gabby was that into it. That's awesome.
She likes doing the battles.
Oh, cool.
And then we also have a $3 BFF of the show where I will share my friend code with you in the Pokemon Trading Card Pocket app.
Oh,
we can be friends. You get everything in the $2 tier, plus the ability to ask Grand Sumo Breakdown a question that we are bloodbound to answer. Any and all levels are highly appreciated. We're very thankful for everyone's support, and we're also thankful for you just listening to the episode, even if you're not able to help out the podcast. It's not necessary in any way. It's completely optional, and just listening to the show, you're an amazing and wonderful person, and we love you.
Yeah, we're not like going to hold back content or anything. This is just our hobby, and if any money comes in, we just want to make it better.
Absolutely. So speaking of which, we do have some patrons that we need to send compliments out to that have signed up between the end of the last Basho and the start of this Basho.
Yep. So first off, Andrew Seberg, thank you so much for supporting the show. Though your name does make me feel a little bit nervous of you being around any ocean liners. Please keep your distance from there, please.
You're
stupid.
That was a good compliment, Jake. You're good. You're very good. My viewers, my listeners, and anyone else who might be scrolling through on their favorite listening or viewing apps, today, you will find yourselves equals. For I have the pride, the privilege, nay, the pleasure of introducing to you a patron among patrons, a sumo fan just doing whatever they can and ready for the Kyushu tournament. It's Gretchen Anthony.
Beautiful. High energy.
Very good.
I demand you keep that level up the entire episode here.
I will blow out this microphone.
Please don't. It was expensive and our patrons bought it.
I'm getting pop-ups on my screen that say set up a professional audio in the audio settings. Are you singing right now? I'm like, no, I'm not singing right now.
It's a notification that's saying like, hey, shut up like a little bit.
Literally, my mic is telling me to shut up.
But yeah, that was obviously A Knight's Tale, right? That's
totally. Absolutely.
Yeah, the Chaucer intro of that movie.
Speaking of high energy, thank you to all of our continuing patrons, but especially to our reigning, defending, undisputed GSB Patreon champion of the world, Colin Matthey.
And now your daughter's awake, and we got to take a break here,
Riley
right?
is awake. Gabby is pissed off.
It's not a sealed deal yet. We didn't ruin anything.
Okay.
And if we did, sorry, babe.
I'm just trying to keep it low because I don't really have anywhere up to go from here, and I can't maintain that. So
Jake didn't get the memo on the high energy. Compliment.
No, I didn't. Also, real quick, shout out to our friend and listener and patron Josh, going through some stuff right now. Hang in there, buddy. Really appreciate your support and chatting with you all the time.
Absolutely, he's been listening to this podcast since about day one.
And
absolutely.
Yep. Here for you if you need us. Also, real quick, I will keep the Amazumo update pretty short here today because in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, half of Grand Sumo Breakdown will be competing in the ring in Indiana. Oh, Mac, I forgot to tell Sam that we're coming to town. We're traveling across the country to the one small town that Mac's sister lives in. That we
right? Like, why didn't you tell her?
I forgot to tell her about it. Anyways, me and Flyric will both be competing in the lightweight division at the Midwest Sumo Open this weekend. Keep an eye out for that. As always, keep an eye on sumo411.com for all upcoming amateur sumo events if you want to try sumo yourself.
Well, surely Mac's sister is a very supportive sister and listens to all of our podcasts, and so this is the heads up
that's a good
that
point.
she needs. So
Yeah,
obviously she's
she does.
listening. Yeah.
Yep. And I expect when we come home with our medals, for Iowa Sumo and Grand Sumo Breakdown, that our profile will only be raised.
Exactly. Yeah. And if Grand Sumo Breakdown is somehow coming away with medals, then even though I'm not going to Indiana, I 100% deserve that medal, and thank you for the honor.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Just like I am half of the Bonsuke guy trophy.
You did get the trophy.
Touche. I retract that statement.
Oh, man. Well, real quick, before we transition into this basho, let's get a quick update on how the last basho went from our field reporter, B.
Hey guys, B here with your Don't Tell My Heart, My Aki Brocky Heart review. Life swings like a pendulum backwards and forwards between This Is Awesome and Who Booked This Crap. So let's get the This Is Awesome out of the way. Onosato has permanently removed any excuse for anyone claiming the JSA bookers don't know how to make a star, because this is how you do it. I don't know why they waited this long, but whatever, man. I'm in, I'm marking out, I'll buy the merch. Kids like Kevin Nash and WCW telling the bookers he should just win the belt and then beat everybody. Now, small collery, was he really their first choice to do this? Or was Takerufuji, who then got himself injured? Maybe we'll never know. On the other side of this, though, someone make this make sense to me. Please. Kirishima goes through a personal issue storyline, okay? Loses Ozeki, alright. They bring him back and give him the Shodai no longer Ozeki power-up tournament thing, and then you have him throw a heel Henka against the babyface and get stuck and lose? What internal character consistency is this? Like, do you want me to cheer for him, or do you want me to boo him like I boo Abi? Which, speaking of which, they booked Onosato to lose 2 matches in the U show. One of them was to Abi, and they didn't even have him throw the Henka. What was the point? And speaking of jobbing, do you guys think Takayasu is actually injured every tournament when he starts losing? Or do you think he just adds that in himself to make the whole Chokiyasu character a little bit less embarrassing? Oh, and Ura clearly watched that Shawn Michaels Hogan SummerSlam match and went, I'm going to sell like this, but for every match, which is entertaining. Not as entertaining as what I hope to be the Midori Fuji Enho WLC match at some point, but entertaining. Anyway, one last thing. I saw Aoyama retired. Now, I think I made my opinion about him crystal clear at the end of the Not So Basho preview episode back in 2020. So all I'll add is that I don't know if his hometown in Bulgaria is named Obscurity, but we all know that's exactly where he's headed now. See you for Kyushu.
Bury him, B. Bury him.
Buried.
It's too late. He's spoken for.
All right. Let's dive into our
The Takayasu storyline. Is he injured every time? Breaking news. All right, we're diving
Clear
into
not.
this.
Coward that can't deal with his failures. That's obvious at this point.
It hurts so bad.
All right, let's dive into the Kyushu preview. And we're going to start with a fun note. Sumo, apparently, is back to the top of the popularity charts for the first time since 1996. All days of Sumo were completely sold out. So that's awesome. That's fantastic. Don't know if it 100% has to do with Onosato absolutely lighting the world on fire. Probably doesn't hurt, but I mean, nobody knew that this was coming. So that's awesome for Sumo that all 90 days in all 4 locations where Bashos are held were completely sold out. So that's fantastic news. And
Sumo's getting a lot of coverage on all the major podcasts right now. Grand Sumo Breakdown talks about them multiple times a year.
Yeah.
Yep, at least
Yeah.
6 times a year.
Got to be some amount of a factor for sure.
Yeah,
Has to be.
absolutely. Yeah. Also, bad idea to do the Paul Heyman introduction at the top of the podcast. Throat is already not doing great. We'll see how this goes.
Ryan, this is, you have to just maintain that level of energy. That's why I can do it usually throughout the entire episode. I just do it in my natural environment.
Pretty
people
sure
hate the hell out of me.
If I maintained that level of energy throughout the entirety of this episode, I would already be gone.
We don't have
Have some
Flyric, so
tea.
we're each carrying proportionately a little bit more weight this episode. We gotta watch out for
That's
our
true.
health.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we're all carrying like a proportionate amount of Flaric's energy for the episode. I'm like, you wouldn't notice the difference. Like, when has Flyric ever showed any amount of energy?
Right here. I got some more energy.
He
right
showed
here.
some energy when he and Mac were battling to be on the episode, as is our kayfabe storyline. Yep.
All right, so let's talk about potential Yusho contenders for the Kyushu Basho. We'll start with our Yokozuna, Takerufuji, but it doesn't really look like he's going to be participating for the 2nd consecutive Basho. He was on the Jungyo tour for the most part, but he didn't really participate in anything more than dohyo iris. He did not participate in any like practice matches or exhibition matches, so he was just solely there to do the dohyo iri and just kind of be around the area. He was also kind of when pressed about, hey, you're going to participate in Kyushu, because he had been saying in the press like, yeah, I'm going to do some prep, try to get ready for the Basho, and they're like, you gonna compete? And he's like, no comment. That's a tough question. You got to give me time to prepare for those things, you know.
That's
You
a
can't
trick
just bring
question.
unexpected things on me like that.
Yeah.
You can't just ask me the obvious number one question everyone wants to know about me.
That's clearly unfair.
So I think for the
Real
rest of
gotcha.
this preview, we're gonna just go ahead and assume no Takerufuji for the 2nd consecutive Basho. So that brings us. Oh,
Yeah. With the obvious caveat that if he's competing, it's because he feels like he is in a good shape to compete.
Oh yeah.
And he's not going to enter the Basho if he doesn't think that he's going to win it.
Yeah.
So like if we do see him, I think all of it's not really worth spending more time on because we say it every Basho, but like if he makes it to day 5, he's the favorite to win it.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
I think at this point, based on the news, most likely he won't enter. Second most likely option is he'll lose 2 or 3 matches and then pull out. Third most likely option is he'll stay in and completely dominate everyone. So like there's like kind of no in between. But that's the same story every Basho, so we can kind of move on, I think, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that brings us to our Ozeki, and we'll start with Kotozakura and Hoshoryu. both are more healthy than they were prior to the Aki Basho, as Hoshoryu was coming off of that, I believe it was a hip injury
That's what I
that he
remember,
suffered at the end of July. And Kotozakura had some ankle issues that he had gotten during training for the Aki Basho. So neither of them were fully healthy, and that kind of showed on the dohyo as both limped to 8 and 7 finishes. But right now, they're both fully participating and they're dominating in their training matches. So, Mac, it's been a year where Takerufuji has been absent for the most part, except for 2 bashos, but neither one of them have been able to stake their claim as the next guy and claim a Yusho and really put their foot forward towards becoming a Yokozuna. So in this November basho, it's really looking like Takerufuji won't be there. Is this the time for one of these rikshis to finally pull out a Yusho and push for Yokozuna?
I want to say yes. And not only yes, but about freaking time. Like, Takerufuji can't take much more of this. The man is barely held together as it is. Ikioi would be impressed at the level of tape and things propping Takerufuji up his knees. For God's sake, his knees.
His back, his diabetes, you know.
Yeah, his back, his diabetes. I mean, it's just the laundry list of health issues goes on with Takerufuji. And yet he is still a phenom. So it's like, okay, I like watching him. But Kotozakura and Hoshoryu have an opportunity to really step up at this point. I don't like that they're coming off of 8 and 7s. Now, granted, they're coming off of injuries. They weren't feeling all that great. But those 8 and 7s is still going to dog them just a little bit. Have they fully recovered from it? Like you were saying, they're moving a little better, but it's the Jungyo. Are they going at it 100%? Are they really trying as hard as they can? So I want them to do it. And I want to say it's about freaking time. But I need to see how they do in the first few days. Like with Takerufuji, if he can make it past day 5, he's going to destroy everything. If Kotozakura and Hoshoryu can get past the first few days, I think they're going to have a chance because, again, their schedule is going to be a little reversed. They're going to get harder as the tournament goes on. If they don't drop any stupid matches, absolutely, but they have to maintain
big ask
strong.
out of these two.
Exactly. And that's the big thing. Historically, if you look at just these two side by side, I would say the weaker of the two is Hoshoryu. He has been a lot more spotty with his big digit wins. Kotozakura has way higher big digit wins than Hoshoryu does. And the one thing that Hoshoryu has, though, is his bag of tricks. Kotozakura has his size and his ability to effectively use that to his advantage. But Hoshoryu's got the tricks, the trips, the quick hip throws. It's like these two guys have such different techniques and they're so much fun to watch. I want them to just break out and dominate. But I'd have to give the edge to Kotozakura.
Yeah, I think the real question for Hoshoryu, really, before we ask, is this time where he can win a Yusho, take that step forward and prove that he's Yokozuna material? Really, we need to ask the question, can he win on day 1? Because he hasn't since January.
Hey,
Fair.
real quick before we move on, can I point out, Mac, what you made a reference to Ikioi. I would be willing to bet, and we'll find out during our popularity poll when Ryan shares the results of that.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you less than half
about that. Yeah,
it's okay. We'll get there
before Kyushu, and
we'll get there. Don't worry about it. But yeah. I would be willing to bet less than half of our listeners watched Sumo when Ikioi was still wrestling.
Oh, that's okay. Shot at how long we've been watching. Like we're
kind of graybeards at this point because the last time Ikioi was in the top division, just off the top of your head, neither of you look it up. What was the last tournament you think he was in the top division? If you get within 3, you're a winner.
I'm gonna say Natsu of 2018.
Oh, it's after that. I'm going. I'll say like September 2020.
Oh, Ryan, you were off by 1. July 2020 was the last time we saw Ikioi in the top division. So I just got to say, we got to find a new reference for the guy that's wearing so much tape, and that's the only reason that he's able to hold together as a physical corporeal form.
Takerufuji.
Yeah.
Hey!
The guy we were just using Ikioi to compare to.
Yeah. Comparing to Cyclic, he's compared it to himself.
And Takerufuji has spent almost the same amount of time, like more than 3 years, as the only Yokozuna doing this battle of like barely staying in it or sorry, if he competes, he wins, or he's just sitting out. Like that's been going on for more than 3 years now. Like this is such a frustrating pattern. And like Hoshoryu and Kotozakura, it's just so, one of them, I've been waiting for one of them to step up and take this next plunge. But yeah, they both just seem to be just bottoming out at the really good stage, not like the best guy stage.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, obviously we're getting to him, but Onosato's like, I think he's finally somebody that's got the juice, right?
The heir
Kotozakura
apparent.
and Hoshoryu. I'm not saying that they're like past their prime or that they can't turn a corner, but like, man, it just really feels like we're kind of back on track with a real Yokozuna candidate.
Fingers crossed.
Speaking of like Takerufuji being the only Yokozuna, I think this might be like the longest stretch of a sole Yokozuna, because it's been
really?
3+ years of only Takerufuji. I'm just looking March of 92 to November of 94 was a long stretch, but that's not 3 years. Sorry, this won't take me too long to go through the rest.
Oh, here we go. I bet you. Oh, we hit
2004?
almost. Yep. I was gonna say almost 4 years. Asashoryu was alone in between Musashimaru and Hakuho. I thought Hakuho was later, but Hakuho. Let's see. Musashimaru retired end of 2003. Asashoryu was already Yokozuna by then, but it wasn't until mid 2007 that Hakuho got Yokozuna. So yeah, almost 4 years there. But we're approaching like that same extreme.
Mm-hmm. All right. Circling back to our conversation on our 2 non-debuting Ozeki, Mac, you had said you would kind of favor Kotozakura this basho, that he's been performing probably relatively better than Hoshoryu for this past year where they've both been Ozeki. I would probably tend to agree with that. Jake, do you have a differing opinion on that at all?
I think the difference for these two, in my mind, is that I don't know if I'm going to make an old man reference again. I'd say that I've brought it up before.
Rip off the Band-Aid.
Oh yeah, I brought it up before, but I feel like Kotozakura reminds me a lot of Kisanosato, just completely stable, stoic, consistent, but just not quite got that flair to him the way that you really need to be the number one guy. Hoshoryu, again, not the first time this comparison's been made, reminds me kind of like of a Haramafuji. Haramafuji was like a decent length Ozeki career, and then all of a sudden he just ripped off 2 15-0s back to back, and that's how he got his Yokozuna promotion. But even after getting that Yokozuna promotion, he'd still give up Kinboshi like they were candy. So like I think that's kind of the comparison I go back to, because I feel like both guys are super good. On average, they're probably about the same level of good in my head. But one guy is consistent and stoic, and one guy is volatile and tricky. So I don't know. Until we see somebody turn a pretty substantial corner, I'm going to bet against them for getting that Yokozuna promotion anytime soon.
Yeah.
But like they're still for sure in the Yusho race conversation. But like, yeah, like I said, I just think Onosato's really got it, and these two guys don't right now.
Yeah, and it's not to say they won't get it at some point in their career. Like your
Hoshoryu's like what, 13 years old or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And your Haramafuji comparison, he was an Ozeki for 3.5 years before he finally made that leap with the 2 15-0 U shows to become, and those were actually his 3rd and 4th U show. He had 2 prior in his Ozeki career. But yeah, somebody
we know, or no, never mind. Hoshoryu's only got the one. But
Hoshoryu got his Yusho on his way to Ozeki, and Kotozakura doesn't have one yet.
Regardless, I think that if you are as old in the what's the redneck phrase?
We've been watching for like 7 years.
I know, but that's more than a lot of people. If what's one of the things that Ryan's dad would say? If you're as long in the tooth as we are at watching sumo wrestling, I'm proud of those comparisons. I think they're pretty on the mark if you're old like us and you know what I'm talking about.
Us
for you younger folks.
Having
I was about to say.
For you younger folks, you just gotta trust me that was pretty good.
All right. So yeah, I'm not sensing a whole lot of overwhelming enthusiasm that one of these two guys is going to walk away with the Yusho. Well, how about our debuting Ozeki in Onosato? We've gone over his historic accolades very, very much over the past couple of Bashos. You can listen to any of our past podcasts to figure out how historic his run has been to make it to the rank of Ozeki faster than anybody in history. But he did miss the second half of the Jungyo tour, but it was due to like minor illness. He is back training in his stable against stablemate Shirokuma and his Oyakata, Nishonoseki Oyakata, the former Kisei no Sato. So, Jake, how many wins are we thinking Onosato is going to grab this Basho, coming off of his career high win total with 13 in his second career Yusho last Basho?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to point out. I guarantee, as much as I can guarantee anything in sumo, I guarantee that he's not getting like a 15-0. He's a guy that is still has a little bit of polishing yet to do before I think he's in his final form. But I think, that 11, 12, 13 is kind of where I'm expecting him to be. If I had to if I was an odds maker picking an over under, I'd say 11.5 is where I would put the over under. 50% chance he gets 11 or fewer, 50% chance it's 12 or more. But yeah, I don't know. I would be remiss not to say that he is definitely the guy that I would pick to win the Yusho if I had one pick to make.
Yeah. Do you have any concerns? Because the one time we've seen him get less than double-digit wins in his Sekitori career was when he was coming off of his first career Yusho. And so there's obviously a lot of celebrations and stuff that are going to go
You've seen how big that Emperor's Cup is, right? That thing is full of sake.
He was
you got to drink all.
He was sore for a while, yeah.
And so not only is he coming off of another Yusho, but he's also coming off of his Ozeki promotions. We know that requires a lot of his time and attention for different fan events and stuff like that. So that's coming off of his last Yusho was when he got that 9-6 record. Do we expect any kind of dip for him this time?
Yeah, I mean, I expect like one or two brain fart type losses. He tends to have losses against guys that don't really make sense for him to lose against. It's even in hindsight, it's really hard to justify why he lost, for example, to Wakatakakage and Abi in this last Basho.
Wakatakakage was freaking on it.
He was on fire.
He's a former Yusho winner himself, so I'm not going to hold that against him.
I'm not going to hold it against him, I guess, but how come he lost to Wakatakakage but didn't lose to Daisho, another former Yusho winner, or Kirishima, who is also on fire this Basho? I'm just saying, there's going to be one or two that it's not every coin flip is going to go his way. And there are several matchups that I would consider a coin flip. So yeah, that's why I think that about 3-ish losses is probably 3 to 4 is what I'm expecting of him. Like I said, he's for sure my pick to win the Yusho, but I don't think it's a lock by any means. He's still green. He still has some brain farts every now and then, but less bad stuff than most everybody else on the roster here.
Mac, how about you? What are we thinking on Onosato?
I would say he's definitely the hopeful for this one. And I am expecting a couple stumbles, but I would think 12-3 probably sounds right, at least for him. Like what Jake was saying, where his over-under was at 11.5, that's really good, because I think 12 completely reasonable. What? And it's true.
No, I agree. Of course, it's really good. Anybody would die to have a record like that in the top division, right? I know what you mean.
It's not infeasible that he can't get it. And setting it high is the expectation that he can do it, and we want him to do it, and we expect him to do it. So it just makes sense. And I want him to do it, but he's just gonna pull out a couple. I would say 12-3 or 13-2 is what I'm feeling for him for this one. Still good,
for sure.
But is that going to be enough to win the tournament? Depends who shows up.
Yeah. Where are you at on this one, Ryan?
I'm probably reading way too much into his 1-9-6 coming after his Yusho. I think probably a big chance for him to learn from it, but I'm thinking probably like 10 to 11 win range for him. I'm not going to fully expect him to win back-to-back Yusho. Like we said, it's been a long time since anybody, even Takerufuji, has won back-to-back Yusho.
Yeah.
It's very hard to do. So until I see
surprising.
it, I'm not going to really predict somebody to do it. If I were to predict somebody to do it, it would be Onosato. But I just think there's a lot to contend with, as there is any Basho. Kotozakura, healthy Kotozakura and Hoshoryu's on their game, huge threats. Wakatakakage beat him last time, huge threat. And there's a couple other people in there that I think could pose some pretty big threats. But I think Onosato should sleepwalk to at least 10 wins, but I'm not necessarily calling for the Yusho here this time. But
Sure.
That also would not shock me in the slightest. Like, Mac, you said 12 wins. I could easily win him the Yusho. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's true. No Takerufuji if it's just the 3 Ozeki at the top of the Bansuke. Yeah, 12 wins is very feasible as a Yusho win. Before we move on, because I know we do have like the other potential guys that are going to be in the mix, just right off the top, what do you think the odds are for Onosato, and is there anybody that has better odds than him in your opinion?
Onosato Yusho.
Yeah.
I would probably 20%, maybe a little higher, 20, 33%, like 1 in 5, 1 in 4, 1 in 3, around in that range. But no, I would have him at the highest odds.
Better than anybody else, but still, it's more likely that it will be somebody else than it will be him. Yeah, I guess
I would definitely pick the field.
Yeah, sure. There you go. That phrasing makes sense.
But like what you were saying, right? I would say 25 to 30%, maybe up as 35. I think that's reasonable, but that allows that. This is what's great about sumo. There's so much uncertainty with it. It's like, does he have the best odds? Agreed. But just because you have the best odds doesn't mean you're guaranteed to win it.
Yeah. And also, I think, I mean, we're assuming that Onosato is this amazing, great thing that is going to storm the sumo world, which he already has, because that's all that we've seen from him. But it is still a very small sample size from Onosato at 5 Basho.
Like, he's only the greatest amateur wrestler ever and has rocketed up to Ozeki faster than anyone who's ever lived.
Like, we had a fantastic 5 Basho sample from Kirishima last year where he won 2 Yusho. Like, Onosato has won 2 Yusho this year. And where is Kirishima sitting right now? So just because he's been... not anticipating it, but I'm just saying it is a small sample size, and so I don't think we're quite at the point yet where we can just give him the benefit of the doubt that he's just going to be amazing, sleepwalk 11, 12 wins every Basho. He very well could, but it is still a small sample size.
I guess my counterpoint for that would be, I don't know if you've heard of this guy, but Kiribayama definitely had a few middling Basho before he became Kirishima.
True.
So I don't know,
hasn't had those
exactly.
Basho,
like there's no prior history of him needing to warm up to becoming Ozeki level. He's just just straight up been there since he debuted in Makushita. So
yeah.
I don't know. I appreciate that we have slightly differing opinions, even if it's varying from.
It's all pretty much the same opinion.
It's the same opinion to like varying by a few percentage.
You're trying too hard if you have a vastly different opinion about Onosato.
I think so. I think the safest opinion in all of sumo is that Onosato is at worst the second best guy in the entire league right now.
I would agree with that.
All right, let's take a look at some other potential Yusho contenders for this Basho. And sitting at Sekiwake, talked about him just a second ago, but Kirishima did look like he was back in Yusho winning form last Basho. He roared out to a 12-3 record, only picking up losses to Hoshoryu, Onosato, and Hiradeumi, all Rikishi that were in the Sanyaku ranks last Basho. So we were talking about Hoshoryu Kotozakura dropping some head scratchers. Kirishima sure wasn't doing that last Basho. So, Mac, will we see Kirishima continue his hot streak and a potential second Ozeki run, or was that last Basho kind of a blip on the radar and we'll kind of see him go back to his early 2024 form?
I am biased with this one because I want him to do well. So, of course, He's over the mental hump. He did 12-3. He's fine. He's got it figured out. He's back, baby. We're going to see him coming back to Ozeki. It's going to be fantastic. You're not even going to believe it. Okay, I got it out of my system. So I have no.
So what do you really think, though? Yeah.
But I do want him to do well because he is a lot of fun to watch, and he can contend with these guys, and his field really hasn't changed all that much. If he can bring the same intensity as he did the last tournament, there's no reason to think he can't do another 12-3.
Yeah, I think as long as that neck is still healthy, because I really do think it was injuries that were just keeping him from fighting to his fullest for most of 2024. But I think if that neck is really kind of fully healed, I think he was having some shoulder issues. If that is still in the same shape it was last time, I don't see any reason why he doesn't get 10 wins this time. Not sure quite that 12-3 level, but I mean, like I mentioned back in just last year, he went 12-3, got a Yusho, and went 13-2 and got a Yusho. So him more than Hoshoryu, especially, I mean, Koto Sakura has gotten to the 13 win point, but Hoshoryu's never even gotten to 13 wins, and certainly hasn't gotten there anytime recently. So I do feel like Kirishima could be more of a Yusho favorite in my mind than Hoshoryu is, because the beginning part of this year, obviously very suspect, but I think if those injuries are in the past, Kirishima is Ozeki level Rikshi, and probably, in my mind, maybe more of a favorite than Hoshoryu, maybe even Koto Sakura at this point.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but yes, of the non-Ozekis, I certainly would pick him to be my top non-Ozeki Yusho winner. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's frustrating to me because looking back on his record, if you look at everything prior to his Ozeki run, he had double digits 3 or 4 times. He was kind of just like an upper Maegashira mainstay for 2 or 3 years. And it's weird to me to see the massive outlier of, let's see, 3 special prizes, a Yusho and a Jun Yusho, and that's his Ozeki run. Spectacular. But that's kind of it. He got one more Yusho as an Ozeki, and that's when we all got way ahead of ourselves talking about a Yokozuna run.
Well, hey, he went 11-4 that Basho and was literally... He lost his last 2 matches. If he won those last 2 matches, we could be talking about Yokozuna Kirishima. I don't think we'd
be talking about a really disappointing Yokozuna.
And Jake, to really get you with the old man things that my dad says in this conversation, the proper thing to say
I know the rabbit. Yep, I know.
And if the dog didn't stop the shit, he would have caught the rabbit.
He sure would have caught that rabbit, but he did stop. So that's what we're seeing, though. We saw Kirishima's...
Your dad use that before.
God, Ryan's dad is an encyclopedia of this kind of thing. It's insane. Yeah. I've known the guy for almost 15 years now, and every time I see him, there'll be a new weird, Rodism or whatever you want to call it, where Rod will say something that completely what are you talking about? What? I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense if I'm a hick about it.
All seems normal to me.
Yeah.
I was raised with that. So
we're learning more about Ryan.
But anyways, going back to somewhat remotely on topic.
Back to Sumo.
Kirishima's Ozeki run is wildly out of place for the rest of his career before that. As far as results go. And yeah, he got that one other Yusho, and he's gotten double digits twice in the last year and a half. I don't know. I know there's been injuries in there, but everybody's got injuries to some extent. I'm just not super optimistic that one Basho is enough for me to really believe again, So I guess if Ryan's going to be the guy that's
champ bet.
Oh,
well, let me finish my thought and then I'll consider it.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess for me, everybody's got injuries in there. I'm not ready to believe again, but
I'm ready to be hurt again.
Yeah, you are.
That's what I mean. I'm a believer. I want it to happen.
You know what? Fine. All right, let's hear it. What would your bet be if we were to make a bet on Kirishima?
Double-digit wins. So 10 wins or more, I get an extra point. 9 wins or fewer, you get an extra point.
Let me think about that for a little bit.
That's more than we usually
I was
get.
about to say,
Yes.
he's actually considering, Ryan.
Well, you know what? I think as we do this longer and we get to know each other better, we're really good at setting the over-under bet for each other.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly where I would have drawn the line as well. But like, I need to think about it.
Like, crap.
Okay. Anyways, that's what I got on him. If Ryan's going to be the guy that's a little bit pessimistic on Onosato, I'll be the guy that's a little bit pessimistic on Kirishima.
As pessimistic as like, yeah, he'll probably get 11 wins.
I'm only 80% optimistic instead of 100. Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's talk about somebody else, and that's Wakatakakage, who is looking for his third consecutive 11-plus win basho since his return to the top division. As we mentioned last time, he is one of 2 Rikishi that was able to defeat Onosato, and the only person that was able to defeat Onosato before the entire basho was already wrapped up. His loss on day 15 to Abi, completely inconsequential. So Wakatakakage beat Onosato when Onosato was trying for something.
Right. Abi beat him when he had already clinched. So yeah. Different mindset.
Who else did Wakatakakage beat last basho? I'm sure it was impressive.
At least 11 guys.
No, his only other Sanyaku win was against Daisho. So but do we think Wakatakakage, he's won a Yusho in the past. He's coming off of a 12-win June Yusho, which was following up an 11-4 win basho. Do we think Wakatakakage will be a Yusho contender this basho? Jake, he is up at Maegashira 2, which is going to be a big difference from a Maegashira 7 schedule. So do you think that tougher schedule this basho will keep Wakatakakage out of the Yusho race?
I'll start with the easy answer, and then I promise I will take a stand. But I think that his first week is going to be critical. The first week, if you're in the upper Maegashira or if you're a Komosubi, week 1 sucks. Week 1 is when you have the top ranked guys.
This is the meat grinder.
Exactly. Week 2, he'll face other guys in the upper Maegashira. Week 1, though, he's going to face at Maegashira 2. He's probably going to face all 3 Ozeki in the first 7 or 8 days. He's going to face those Sekiwake. Basically, all of his hardest matches are going to be front-loaded unless he gets to, like, I don't know, if there's a playoff or something, of course, that's going to be a hard one. But if he gets through, let's say, our midway, I think we're still deciding on if we're scheduling it for day 7 or day 8. I think it'll be Sunday.
I think we'll do it after day 8, yeah.
Day 8? Okay. So, yeah, day 8, let's say if he is better, if he's 5-3 or better, I am going to be very optimistic. If he's like 6-2,
honestly, for me, 6-2, 7-1. I'd probably like 7-1. I'd want to see him like 5-3. Like you can really you'd have to go 7-0.
That's true. He'd have to kind of win out from there. Yeah. Okay. No, that's fair. If he's going to be 6-2 by day 8, he's a Yusho contender. If he is better than 50-50, I think that he's a Sanyaku lock pretty much, because like his week 2 is going to be easier than his week 1.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I promised I would take a stand. I think he'll do it. I think that he never showed anything all that worrying pre-injury, and unless that knee gives him trouble, which doesn't seem like it has so far since he took enough time off to get it properly healed. Unless that knee acts up again, I don't see any reason that he shouldn't be another Ozeki contender very shortly. So yeah, I guess for me, I think that he will hit that. How about I expect him to get that 5-3 out of that tough first week. If he gets any better than that, yeah, great. Strap a rocket to his back. He's going to the moon. But yeah, my expectation is 5-3 ish. And a good second week will put him back at like maybe Komosubi. That's kind of where I would
depends on
January.
Like how the Komosubi and Sekiwake do.
Yeah, there's always a little bit of stuff with the Bansuke, but yeah,
11 wins should guarantee an automatic promotion up into Komosubi. I don't know, even if like nobody else was dropping out. But I do want to. I'll kind of disagree a little bit with you. I think before that knee injury, he had spent an entire year at the Sekiwake rank. And he reached incredible heights. He had a 12-3 Yusho. He did win a Yusho at Sekiwake, but then it was a 9-6, an 8-7. 11-4 June Yusho, but then another 8-7, 9-6. So he wasn't really showing that consistency that he needed to kind of make that jump up to Ozeki. And now that he's going to be facing that same kind of schedule that he was when he was a Sekiwake, and I think the top of that field is tougher than it was when he left at the beginning of 2023 with the solidification of Kotozakura, the emergence of Onosato.
That's true. Onosato wasn't there at all.
So I think it's going to be a little tougher at the top there. Obviously, we're missing some big names. Terunofuji, Takakeisho, big absences this time.
Two guys I absolutely would pick him to lose against if those guys were healthy.
Yeah, so it'll be... But now that I think about it, like beyond Kotozakura, Onosato, Hoshoryu, and Kirishima. So there's 4 people that I'm kind of afraid of. But I would push back because we have seen Wakatakakage also drop some head scratchers like to Koto Shoho or Chura no Umi last basho or Nishikigi last
Chura no
basho.
Umi, who's doing the best he's ever done. I don't know. No, yes, I agree with you, but like counterintuitively, Nishikigi and Chura no Umi are on the hottest tears of their careers for the most part. So like, I don't know. I get your point though, but yeah, I think would you guys agree though that if we get back on the midway and he's 5-3, that we're like, is that a high enough bar to say like he's back, he's at least as good as he used to be?
Barring some catastrophic injury, yeah, I would have to agree with that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, especially with the first week that he'll have if he comes out of that 5-3, that'll be pretty good. Jake, what if I amend our champ chump bet? What if it's just Kirishima versus Wakatakakage more wins?
No, I'm not gonna. No, I don't want to do that.
Don't do it.
We'll stick with the Kirishima one.
Yeah. No, stick with that because Kirishima, as a Sekiwake, Sekiwake and above, roughly, you would expect week 1 to be easier than week 2. Yeah. Even if I do believe in him, that's like saying like, do you think that the guy with his easiest schedule possible or the guy with his worst schedule possible? I'm not saying by the midway. I'm not saying Wakatakakage. I'm sorry. You mean
for the entirety
total
of the basho.
Okay. Now that's an excellent bet that I will also still want to have a minute to think about.
God damn it.
But I do like that even better than Kirishima 10 wins. Let's do Kirishima Wakatakakage. Give me a minute to come to terms with the fact that I'm going to accept this at some point.
All right. Perfect.
As Ryan subtly makes a note.
Yes.
Do not forget to bet Jake.
I'm looking down in the outline like, wait, who's adding the notes?
Yeah.
It's me.
It's me.
Sure.
It's me, the bus driver.
So then I've got one other Yusho contender that I want us to talk about, and it is the return of Takerufuji to the top division. Obviously, this is a guy that in March took the world by storm, going 13-2, winning the Yusho in his top division debut, the first Rikishi to do that in over 100 years since the namesake of the Kogugikan itself, Ryogoku. And then he injured himself on day 14. He was able to make it to day 15 to secure that Yusho, but then after that, he essentially had to take 2 full basho off. He came back. He missed all of the May tournament. He came back on day 7 of the July tournament, fought 2 matches, and then had to pull out again.
He won 2 matches.
He won 2 matches.
Yeah, and then he won those 2 matches and then dipped because of a pectoral injury, I believe.
Yeah, he was like, I didn't win those hard enough. I guess I got to sit out a little bit longer.
Aww.
But then he was back in full form at Juryo 11 in September, did his Takerufuji thing, went 13-2. All he does when he's in the top division is get 13 freaking wins if he is competing all 15 days. And that is enough to bring him back to the top division to finish out the year. So, Mac, Takerufuji is 3-for-3 for winning the Yusho when he competes in all 15 days of a basho as a Sekitori. He's 3-for-3 in getting.
This is some real GSP stats going on right now.
Can he make it 4 for 4, Mac? Is Takerufuji him?
Who else can Takerufuji except Takerufuji? I mean, literally, there is no other that could pull this off. Okay, got that one out of the way. Now, if we're really talking seriously for this one, it's a tall order.
Yeah.
I mean, given how the field is right now, his lower levels, like, okay, you've got some guys making their debut. We've got 2 guys that are making their debut, like possibly could be a little bit of trouble for them. I doubt it, but it's still a possibility. There's still a wild card chance that he won't ascend.
I mean, okay, here's the thing. We're talking about Takerufuji's schedule. He's at Maegashira 16. When he started 11-0, he did not face any Sanyaku Rikishi until day 11 when he beat Ozeki Kotonowaka at the time. And he would go on to defeat Sekiwake Wakamotoharu in a subsequent day. Who in those first 11 days at the bottom of the Bansuke are we so afraid of that Takerufuji can't do what he's been doing?
My thought with that was, since he proved that he could do something like that, the guys that schedule the matches know that this time around. So if you don't think so, you don't think so. So you don't think that if he has gone 11-0 by day 11 that they're not going to start ramping him up even higher?
Okay. I thought you were thinking like, okay, he's Maegashira 16, but we know what he can do. Let's throw him against some Joy Rikishi.
Oh, that's how I heard it too. Yeah, sorry, Matt.
My bad. No, I was leading into that. It's like, okay,
day 11, day 12, if he's like 11-0, 10-1 again, he's absolutely fighting Sanyaku Rikishi again. And I think he'll absolutely beat some Sanyaku Rikishi again.
but that was the unknown. It's like, and that's what I was trying to say. It's like, you've got a couple guys making their debut. Who knows how they're going to do? But hey, we've seen some magic happen before. But if he makes it to 11-0, then they're going to ramp him up like crazy. And then it's just going to be a tall order from that point.
And then he could do what he did last time. Just win the Basho anyways.
Well, hey, Mac, how about I amend where I think you're going with this? If he goes undefeated for a while, are they going to step him up earlier than they did before?
Yes, would that what I'm trying to say.
I don't think they would, but I think that's what you're getting at, is by being a former Yusho contender, are they only going to wait till he's 9-0, or 10-0? Is that kind of where you're going?
Yeah, it is exactly where I'm going.
I still disagree with you. I think I'm with Ryan that they would probably still just do it by the numbers and treat him like Maegashira, 16, like still a lower ranked guy. But yeah, I don't know. It also kind of depends on the Yusho race. If nobody at the top is blowing everybody else out of the water, that might change things compared to something that's really tight with everybody close together.
How it will work if Takerufuji or anybody in like the lower Maegashira ranks, if they are winning outright the Yusho or tied for the lead, they are going to have their schedule ramped up a couple of days sooner than if they were like hanging back one behind the lead or something like that. If you are outright leading, I tend to see that they are getting those matchups a lot faster to kind of make sure we're knocking them down if they are to lose those matches. But if you're kind of like trailing...
think my chair just broke.
I was about to say, you're right there, Jake.
Did you guys see me just like plummet?
I was like, what are you doing?
I was just spinning back and forth. I don't know. Honestly, I'm going to subconsciously try to recreate it, but I was just kind of like rocking back and forth, and then all of a sudden just chunk, 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 chunk.
Yeah, for all of our listeners out there, Jake went from the top of the screen to incrementally lower rapidly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the lever's banging on something. Sorry. Yeah, that could not mention that for anyone who's watching on YouTube and was very surprised by that. Oh man! Well, I'm going to keep messing with that, but yeah, you go ahead, Ryan.
For comparison's sake, not even a similar situation, but former Ozeki Terunofuji, on his return when he was a Maegashira 17, he started the Basho day 10. He was 9-1. Next day, didn't fight any Sanyaku Rikishi. Day 11, he was 10-1. Next day, didn't fight Sanyaku Rikishi. Day 12, he was 11-1. Did not fight a Sanyaku Rikishi. It took until he was 12-1 on day 13 to finally face co-leader Ozeki Asanoyama at the time.
Hey, I got something for you. We're going off this assumption that he had to go 11-0 Takerufuji had to go 11-0 before he faced Kota no Waka. He faced Komusubi Abi on day 9.
Did he?
Yeah, so they did bump him up after 8-0. They everything day 1 through 8 was double-digit Maegashira, nobody higher than Maegashira 12. But yeah, on day 9, after going 8-0, he did get bumped up to Komusubi, then Maegashira 5, then Ozeki.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe 8-0 is kind of the floor for like, now we have to think about it. Because it does absolutely look like day 1 through 7 was just pure autopilot.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, I still stand by my point that it won't matter. Takerufuji goes choo-choo through you.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Fair. Okay, fair enough.
All right. Of the guys in the field, yes, I would agree that you got Onosato, like as I have made clear, Onosato's my number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Koto Sakura, Hoshoryu have to be in the mix. Kirishima, probably my number 1 guy that's not an Ozeki. Yeah, Wakatakakage, Takerufuji. Between those 6 names, oh my God, that's got to be like what?
The winner has to be in there somewhere.
I'd say like
that was something I was going to ask.
90% it's these guys.
I put this list of like 6 Rikishi together, talk about like these are the Yusho contenders. Are you guys? Did I leave anybody off the list?
Right.
Well, I'd say no.
Besides obviously I left 36 Rikishi off the list.
Yes, besides those 36 guys, did I don't know. I mean, there's always surprises, and like
Daisho. Shodai.
Yeah,
Tamawashi.
Exactly.
Get the hell out of here with Shodai, Mac.
Well, yeah, what if I were to say some like a dark horse like Hiradomi? That's like less crazy, right? I think that sumo is so volatile that like, yeah, no matter how big your pick of favorites gets, the field or whatever you want to call it still has to have like a 10 or 15% chance to win it. So like, to me, these 6 guys maybe make up, I don't know, 85%, and then 15% complete out of nowhere nonsense that absolutely we learn nothing from. And that could be Hiradomi, that could be Wakamoto Haru's a Komusubi. You know, he's shown he's not a guy that should be completely written off. We didn't even talk about Daisho, the other Sekiwake. Yeah, there's absolutely guys that could win it, but just like our Terunofuji conversation at the beginning, there's always some level of this. Every single basho has some level of the narrative of it could be anyone, but definitely more like
it's not going to be Sada Naomi.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. But
I was trying to think, like, I was like looking through, it's like, who's the one person I feel like I could definitively say is not going to win this Yusho?
Yeah.
And I think
almost anybody still has like a little bit of that shine to them, right? Almost everybody.
Almost.
Except for Takayasu. Takayasu will never win a Yusho. That would be, I know, I had to do it.
Sorry, Jake. Oof.
I wanted to say it before either of you guys did.
So we've talked about these 6 guys. I want us to just talk about who are our top 3 Yusho contenders for this basho. And I want to hear from Mac first on this.
Okay. So starting from the top for me, definitely got to be Onosato. And it's the guy's just, he's got it. He's got the fire. He's got the intensity. I like watching him sumo, and I think he's got it to go. Right on his heels for me has got to be Koto Sakura, just because he's next in line. I mean, enough said, it's Koto Sakura. Number 3, if I had to pick, I would actually put Kirishima over Hoshoryu. And that's recency bias for me. But I see a lot more fire from Kirishima than I do Hoshoryu. I think Hoshoryu will get there eventually. I'm just not seeing it for this tournament. And then I've got...
I said 3. Don't go farther. Don't do extra credit, Mac.
Nope, don't work for free. Don't work for free.
I'll be good.
We're only paying you for 3 opinions right now.
All right.
For me, I got to throw Onosato at the top of the list. And then I think I'm more wish casting than anything else here, but I'm going to say Kirishima is going to be my number 2. I kind of believe in, if Kirishima is healthy, I believe in him a bit more than Koto Sakura and Hoshoryu. And then I feel like what if lightning strikes twice? Let's throw Takerufuji.
I knew that was coming.
Oh. Yeah, I'm torn between my desire to make good podcasting and my desire to conservatively pick based on what I honestly think the odds are.
And we all know your desire to conservatively pick is going to outweigh everything else.
Oh, that blanket is soaking wet. Absolutely soaking wet. Onosato, Kotozakura, and I'll say Wakatakakage.
Okay.
Ooh. So nobody.
Okay, but our top twos are pretty much set.
Yeah, Hoshoryu, like I said, volatile. I can't ever put money on him, but I do. If I were to put money on him to win another Yusho before he retires, boom, easy money.
Oh yeah.
Every single Basho, though, I will bet against him.
Yeah. And if he wins day one this Basho, all bets are off.
Oh man.
No, we're done.
Final form.
That's like unknown territory for Hoshoryu is what he does after winning on day one.
Yeah, the sky is the limit.
Yeah.
Flip the Bansuke. That's it. We're done.
All right. Talking about flipping the Bansuke, let's do just that. Let's head towards the bottom of the Bansuke and talk about a couple of
pro
Makuuchi
move right
debuts.
there. Well done, sir.
Starting first at Maegashira 16, Mac, who is debuting at Maegashira 16. There he
This
is.
beautiful man right here.
It is the
There you go.
Ukrainian Shishi.
Yeah.
He is the lone Sekitori in the Ikazuchi stable. He's 27 years old. And with the retirement of Aoyama, he is the sole European representation in the Sekitori ranks, depending on where Kazakhstan is. Oh, no, that's not true. Aonishiki,
that's not Europe
also
at
from
all.
Ukraine. Okay. Kazakhstan securely in Asia?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. But I did forget about Aonishiki debuting down in Juryo.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
He is also a European, also out of Ukraine, joining Shishi there. But so a little bit about Shishi. He debuted at the very bottom of the Bansuke in July of 2020. So his debut Basho was the first Basho after the canceled Basho in May of 2020. He went 6-1 in his first 4 Bashos on his way to the Makushita division, where he would spend 2 years before rising to Juryo, where he spent about another year and a half honing his craft before his rise to Makuuchi this Basho. Jake, do you have anything on the style of Shishi?
I didn't know I was supposed to, but I know where to look.
Do for these guys, though.
I know where to look, so give me a second here. It looks like...
Where are you looking for those of our listeners and viewers wanting to know?
Thank you, Mac. You know what?
You're welcome.
There is nothing I gain by keeping this to myself. We mention it all the time, but go to Sumo DB, or I guess Google that. I can't really tell what the actual home page it is.
sumodb.sumogames.de.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know. Search Sumo DB. It stands for database, but yeah, that is the number one resource that we use. I do want to give a shout out to Sumo Stats. Let me bring that one up so that I can. Easy. Sumostats.com. That one is also really good. Not one that we use as often just because we're not as familiar with it, but Sumo DB, excellent resource. It's got all of the publicly available Sumo information just compiled in one spot. But it shows the Bansuke, so you can click on anybody who's in any division that you want. Up in the top left, it gives you some options such as show all bouts by Kimarite. It shows all their bouts sorted by the winning technique. And Shishi, I'm going to bring his stats up. He has a overall record of 146 and 98. So he's winning about 1.5 matches per every loss, which is pretty good for somebody that's on their way up. Not astronomical like Onosato or Takerufuji or anything, but still very much in the realm of good prospect. Of those 150 wins, a third of them are Yorikiri. Normally, I would say about 25% of an average wrestler's wins are by Yorikiri, and about 25% by Oshidashi, and the rest is kind of, a smorgasbord of different stuff. But Shishi is primarily a grappler. He uses grappling about 1.5 times as often as he uses pushing. Not a complete specialist or anything like that, but definitely more in favor of grappling, which absolutely tracks with somebody coming from Eastern Europe. Wrestlers that come from Europe are primarily coming from judo, wrestling, sambo, things like that, are the other sports that they may have done when they were young, and excellent basis for sumo. So yeah, Shishi, primarily a grappler, primarily a meat and potatoes kind of guy. He doesn't have a ton of extra weird trips and throws and stuff the way you would see on like Hoshoryu's list. But yeah, he is also big. So keep an eye on him for being just grabbing the belt, trucking guys out. That is going to be his plan A by a mile. And while Ryan transitions, I'm going to look up the other guy.
I will say about Shishi, I'm going to kind of have tempered expectations for him, watching him in Juryo over the past year and a half. Very much his power has been getting him through, but there has been a lot of poor like technique, footwork, awareness of his place in the dohyo. It seems like that has kind of been cleaned up a little bit in the past two basho, which led to 11-4 record, 9-6 record in his debut up into the Makuuchi division. But we'll see how far his power can take him and see if he really has cleaned up that technique aspect of his game. Because if he can clean up that technique, he's got a lot of power and can do some damage. But when you're in the top division, if you do have a weakness in your technique, that's going to get exploited.
Absolutely.
It will be found.
You're going up against the other 41 best wrestlers in the entire world at this sport. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that also kind of tracks with other sports that he may be coming from. Sumo is not unique in that you win by pushing somebody out, but it's certainly the sport that is like most focused on that as like your number one strategy of grappling or pushing somebody out. So yeah, ring awareness or just general footwork and understanding how to move your opponent via the mawashi. That's stuff that comes more easily to somebody that started sumo as like an elementary school student, the way somebody like almost Onosato might have.
So our other top division debutante this basho is Maegashira 17 East, Asa Koryu. He is the lone Sekitori in the Takasago stable, with the now demotion of Asanoyama back to Makushita. He's 26-year-old, and he's a smaller guy, kind of in the vein of Ishiura, Midori Fuji, but think and build a lot more like Ishiura, kind of the visible muscle kind of guy, but he is very short of stature. Yep. He debuted with the Yusho in the Sandanme division in May of 2021, spent about 2 years in Makushita before he made it up to Juryo, and just spent a little over a year in Juryo before joining the top ranks this basho. I saw a quote from him saying like he was very surprised that he was making it up to Makuuchi this basho. Him and me both. I did not have him up in Makuuchi in my prediction with just an 11-4 record from Juryo 8, but he is up here, and we'll see what he can do at the bottom of the Bansuke. Maybe we're over. Maybe we're like, oh, Takerufuji at Maegashira 16. That's a usual favorite. Hey, Maegashira 17's been the number. Maybe Asa Koryu's our guy, because it sure as hell ain't going to be Busho's on.
Hey, that's bit Jake in the ass a couple times.
What? Completely writing somebody off for the memes.
Yeah. He's not Aqua. He's not Aqua.
Oh, man, I miss Aqua in the top division. That was some fun stuff. Asa Koryu, watch for him to be very focused on pushing and thrusting. He uses Oshidashi as his primary method of victory about 40% of the time. Again, 25% would be considered average. And he uses Yorikiri only about 17% compared to an average of 25%. He's less focused on grappling. He's much more focused on pushing people out. And for a small guy, that's weird and awesome. That's a guy like Midori Fuji is a small guy that doesn't really wrestle like he's small. He just comes in hard-nosed. He's just going to mess you up straight on. It doesn't matter how big you are. Asa Koryu is another guy that's going to be similar to that style. Less so of an Enho, if you remember him from a couple years ago. I know, right?
He's back in Sandanme. He's working his way back.
I'm just saying he hasn't been in the top division for a while either. But either way, he's not going to be incredibly tricky. He is going to be in your face, violent, and intense. So looking forward to having him up. He sounds like he's going to be a lot of fun.
All right. We'll do a couple other quick hits in the top division. We've got Oho at his career high rank of Maegashira 1 last basho. kind of a breakout basho for Oho, going 9-6, picking up wins over both of the Ozeki in that basho, and then also kind of competing while injured, finding out after the basho that he had broken or fractured orbital bone after his match on day 7 with Abi, where he would continue to fight the rest of that basho and still do very well.
Yeah, orbitals are like legendarily one of the most painful fractures. So that is some serious tough guy cred.
Absolutely. So Oho sitting at Maegashira 1 East, a simple winning record will force his way into the Sanyaku ranks no matter what happens above him. Do you guys think it is Oho's time to debut in the Sanyaku ranks in January of 2025?
Honestly, I think so. I think he's kind of turning that corner.
8-7. Yeah.
We compare him to Hoshoryu a lot because those two debuted at the same time and they're roughly the same age. But a guy that's 24 on the verge of making a Sanyaku debut, that's not bad at all. That's pretty solid. That's still like decent prospect level. And Ryan can make whatever face he wants. He can make whatever face he wants, but I'm still optimistic.
I thought that was a detraction. Like, what are you talking about?
I'm doing other research.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Regardless. Yeah. I maybe if you were to make me put money on it, I'd be reluctant. But if we're just talking like podcast, yeah,
Jake, you wouldn't put money on if the sun will rise tomorrow.
Odds are really good, but they're not 100, right? You know what I mean?
What do you mean? You know what I mean?
I'm just saying this is the only. I promise this is the only time I'll bring it up this episode. But there is an election tomorrow. So I'm just saying odds are not 100.
You know, some people might be looking at their internal polling, kind of freaking out a little bit, might still have access to nuclear codes that they stole from the White House.
My butt's been clenched for years already. Like I said, only time I'll bring it up. But you did say, is the sun going to rise tomorrow? And tomorrow is a big day for that.
Yeah.
Moving on, please.
The setup was there.
Absolute alley-oop there. Thank you for the assist.
Anytime. Yeah. Is Oho going to make Sanyaku?
We were just saying
yes. Yeah, we were saying yes.
Yeah. I felt like you had more to say. And then you got distracted and forgot.
No, he can do it. He can inch his way with an 8-7 or a 9-6 and make it.
Still young, still getting better. I think he's going to do it.
3-12 at best. All right, at Maegashira 4, we've got another pair of Rikshi at their career high rank. Chura no Umi and Oshoma, both of them coming off of 10-5 win records in the last basho. Mac, which one of these guys is going to do better? Not necessarily are they both going to do good, but which one will do better?
Chura no Umi. For the complete reason of, I have no freaking clue. And I don't like Oshoma because he screwed me over in one of the other tournaments. So, Chura no Umi, you got it.
Fair. I tend to agree because I feel like every basho we come in, like Chura no Umi's just like this 31-year-old guy who decided, I'll give Maku Uchi
I'll do
a try.
sumo today.
I'll just give it a shot. And like, he's just keeps winning. He's got back-to-back 10-win basho. Like, nobody's expecting this. He's sitting at Maegashira 4. Who's to say he doesn't walk out of here with 8-9 wins and an Ozeki scalp? Jake is to say.
Yeah. I honestly, I'm not positive. I can't quite put my finger on it, but like it's like Daisho was for me a few years ago, where like I refuse to believe that this guy is an elite sumo. Like, of course he's elite in the sense that he's in the top division.
Yeah.
But like, come on. But that's my whole argument. That's it. Come on.
He's Tochi Ozan. Come on.
Churanomi, come on. Oshoma's gigantic. I don't know. He's shown more flashes to me that actually are like memorable, cool, fun.
I hard disagree with that. Chura no Umi is way more fun to watch than Oshoma ever is, and you cannot ever convince me otherwise. Oshoma.
Well, here's the thing. I don't remember
dry.
enough about Chura no Umi to actually argue with you. Is the kind of the thing.
I've got it in my head.
He's got a very active style. He's very energetic on the dohyo. He's a rounder Wakatakakage guy. He's a very entertaining guy. He's very underrated, and I'm tired of people sleeping on him. Will he probably shit the bed this basho now that I'm fully
We've cursed
behind
him.
Yes,
We've cursed him.
Well, I'm gonna make a similar joke to what I'm sure I made about Daisho years ago when he was so forgettable. Chura Naomi could like approach me on the street tomorrow and I wouldn't know who he is. Like I don't have like
That's fine. Just don't say Oshoma is like this memorable Rikishi with these great matches and moments.
I did not say that. I said more memorable.
And that's just flat out wrong.
Well, we will agree to disagree until day one
Mr.
happens.
Hataki Komi is not a more memorable Rikishi than Shiranumi. I did not know this was going to be the thing that would get me going this
Wow,
Basho,
Ryan
God
is-
damn it, we're here. And
Ryan is fired up.
This Oshoma love.
Well, here's what's going to happen is we're going to wait until day one happens and I watch those matches and I go, oh yeah, that's that guy. And then we can have this discussion again.
The meme of Leonardo DiCaprio just pointing to the screen.
Yeah. No, I've seen him wrestle before, I swear. Yeah, no, I absolutely nothing against the guy. Like I promise it's nothing personal. I got nothing. I just got nothing. He's got to do something that like other than just getting these just generic 8 and 7, 9 and 6 on his way
He's got
up.
10 and 5 the last two Basho.
And I didn't even remember it happened. Like what?
That says more about you as a sumo fan than it does Shiranumi. Don't you take him down with you.
I got nothing here. Like I don't even remember enough to defend myself. That's just who this guy is for me right now. I'm sorry.
How dare you. I've grown to kind of really begrudgingly love Shiranumi as he keeps like defying all expectations.
And just continuing to be fine. Yeah, like what's happening here?
Better than fine. 10 and 5 is better than fine. Damn it.
I mean, it's okay, but like, do podcasters remember who he is? Like, that's the real
Good
bar
ones.
for-
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
Shit. Oh man. You gave me the alley-oop earlier. I gave it right back to you.
you gave it
did.
right back to him.
And I got the and one on it.
Oh no. Oh, the and one. Oh, that's I think pretty much a lot more brutal, right? Basketball's
He
not my
fouled me
thing.
and I got the extra point. I turned it into a 3-point play.
Extra points football, Ryan.
The free throw, you know.
I don't know, man. I don't think you know your sports very well.
I hit the home run. All 10 pins went down. Hole in one.
Like a
Yahtzee.
house of cards.
Any other Rikishi we want to get
Checkmate.
unnecessarily passionate about? before we
Absolutely
move on?
not. That was plenty.
Nope, we're good.
I'm trying to look down the list, see if there's anybody I can muster that emotion
There's-
for. I
there's a
didn't know it was
lot going on
Chura
here.
Naumi, but god damn it, I'm cheering for him more than most other Rikishi this Basho now.
I guess
Wow.
I gotta continue giving like a spiritual lazy shout out to Shonan Naomi just because one of our listeners that I actually
It was like a year ago, Jake. You can let the evidence sway you.
No. I get to wrestle the world's biggest Shonan Naomi fan this coming weekend. And I get the event that we're competing in happens before day one, so I won't be able to rub it in or anything if Shonan Naomi actually loses. But Big Jake out of Indiana is a huge fan of Shonan Naomi, and I have no idea why. I was on the hype train for a minute, and now it's just a mockery train. Sorry, Jake.
Yeah.
I'm gone. It's a meme at this point. He maybe he's my new Aqua or something. We'll see. And that's how you rile up an opponent before you wrestle him this weekend. Boom.
You're in his head, Jake. There's no
I'm
way
in his
he's
head.
gonna take
Yeah.
you down.
Rent free.
Brutal.
I think that's how you use that slang.
Something like that. Is that even slang? I think that's just like
It's just a saying,
a
I think.
phrase or something. Yeah.
I don't know.
Cultural idiom.
What
Yeah,
am I?
let's get
Some
this
sort
train
of
back on the tracks. Let's go to
languageologist?
Jurio.
Well, is there anybody else in the top division? Mac,
No,
is there
like I said,
anybody you
let's go to
wanted
Jurio.
Fair enough.
Let's see if we
What
can
about
find
Abi?
those rails
He's back
again
in the
and get on
Maegashira
them.
ranks. What do we expect out of Abi at Maegashira
Brian,
3?
the train's left the station.
All right. Down in Jurio, we got Haku Oho. He is at Jurio 2, and he is hard sneeze away from making it back into the top division. We've got a triumvirate of young.
I'm sorry, I just love that one.
Sneeze?
It's not like achoo. That won't get him in the
Is
top
this
division,
another
but
one of your dad's things?
That's what I'm
No,
thinking.
I don't know. I honestly have no idea why that's what I said.
Wow.
I don't know,
But now
I'm
that
gonna
we're
use
here,
it all
like
the time now.
just like a little achoo. That's not going to get it. But if he at least gets a and he's in the top division. That's all he needs.
I'm picturing him
Not
being
one
at
big
7
enough to
and 7.
throw your back out and you're in pain, but enough to wake up the cat and scare it.
I'm 35 now. I know that.
Yes,
that
it happens.
That
It
sneeze sneaks up on you.
I
But no,
remember back when I was a big baseball fan of the Cubs and like Sammy Sosa was still playing and like he had to go on the disabled list because he sneezed too hard and strained his back.
It
And then-
happens.
And then you pass 30 and you're like, okay, yeah.
I haven't gotten it for a sneeze yet. I have done it for like barely looking down. So
For me, the newest one is like waking up and like it used to be the case that like, oh, haha, I'm like in my late 20s. Sometimes I sleep wrong and it hurts. And now it's like, I don't even like think about it. It's just like, I guess that's what hurts today because I slept wrong. It's just a different part of my body today.
My body's making a new creak. Oh, what's that one? All right.
Oh, that's a new noise. I better take that one to the shop.
Exactly.
we've got a triumvirate of young new Juryo Rikshi to keep your eye on. We've got 19-year-old Waka Ikari, we got 20-year-old Aonishiki, and we got 21-year-old Koto Eho, the former Koto Tebakari, the younger brother of Koto Shoho. And further down the Bansuke, we've got Enho back up to the Sandanme division in his third Basho back in action since he is long layoff from a neck injury. And
Hooray!
Can I just mention that we are within the next, it looks like about 2 years, we're going to see guys making their Sekitori debuts that were born after we left high school. I'm sorry to deflate you both like that, but
Why?
yeah, Waka Ikari was born in 2005.
All right, I still got a few years.
Oh, you're a grade below us, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
2008, yep.
Oh,
No. No.
New parts of me just hurt, and I didn't even think about it. It's just what happens now. Like I said, I podcasted wrong, and now my shoulder's out.
And then we got some new Rikshi recruits, some high-profile recruits that have been announced and will likely be in Maizumo in January. First one is another nephew of Asa Shoryu is joining Grand Sumo. Not the brother of Hoshoryu, the cousin of Hoshoryu. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. It's a Mongolian name.
Oh,
I have
yikes.
no
Yeah,
idea.
please don't.
So I'm not even going to insult it by trying. I apologize. But he is joining the Shikuroyama Beya. I will be able to refer to him by name once he has a proper Shikona. And I believe he is 18 years old. So Asa Shoryu's got another nephew joining Sumo. But there is another nephew of a former Yokozuna joining Sumo. This time it is Yokozuna Musashi Maru's nephew.
Hey, all right.
He's going to be joining Musashi Gawa Beya, where the former Yokozuna is the head coach. It is the brother of Musashi Kuni, who retired a number of years ago, and this is Daniel. So there's another Hawaiian that will be joining Sumo's ranks. He is also 18 years old. From what I've seen, he is an Oshi pushing specialist. And so Daniel, we'll see what his Shikona is going to be. I assume Musashi something. And he should be in Maizumo in January as well. So a couple of new recruits to keep an eye on.
Yeah, we haven't had very many Hawaiians in the last couple decades, but the 90s, there were a bunch of really good ones.
Dominant.
Would be really, really cool to see that door open up again.
And Daniel's already saying he's got his eye on the Yokozuna rank just like his uncle. And
That's what I'm talking about.
I hope so. I hope so.
Excellent.
That's my guy.
All right. So we'll take a quick break here, and when we come back, we'll talk about the GSB belt and make our champ chump predictions. If you enjoy the Grand Sumo Breakdown podcast, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast listening service.
You can find us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search for Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Support the show on Patreon and check out our blog, grandsumobreakdown.wordpress.com.
If you have any questions, comments, or corrections, drop us a line at grandsumobreakdown@gmail.com or give us a call at 805-613-7866. That's 805-613-SUMO.
Also, watch us on YouTube.
And this is Flyric.
Oh, I think we're having some lag issues.
I was about to say, hold on.
Flyric,
I think it's your turn, Jake.
You're a
I
little
got
over.
this.
you're a little over an hour of lag here. Are you hardwired or are you on Wi-Fi right now?
This is Flyric.
Oh, man.
I might be on,
Oh, he still
I might be
can't
on
hear us.
Wi-Fi.
We'll let him buffer or whatever while you do the GSB belt update, Jake.
That
and
sounds
hopefully,
like an internet term. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll say he's buffering right now.
All right, I got switched over to the Ethernet, so we should be good to go. So,
Oh, okay.
Right.
yeah, happy
Well-
to join you guys for the second half. I'm glad I can make it.
The second half
Just in
that's going to be
time.
dramatically shorter than the first half.
Yes.
That's how I like it.
How
Here
you
for the
like it.
important part, picking Rixie,
yeah,
so
Actually,
I don't get fucked over with punishments again. So.
depends on who you pick.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's by no means a guarantee for you, Mister. What are you? 3 wins and 2 losses in the last 5 basho.
It's the Ricky Bobby effect. If he's
I
not
think it's
first,
a-
he's last.
It's a streak of 6 or 7 bashos where he's either been first or last.
I'm just looking at his Discord name where he records trash cans or trophies based on what his history
Yeah.
has been.
He needs to add another trash can to it.
Oh,
No, it should
man.
be up to date. Pretty sure.
Oh no,
I
okay.
think I just did this year though.
Okay.
Is one.
Oh, okay.
I
So
see
that's
it.
why there's 5. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyways,
But no,
let's
this-
take a look at the GSB belt. Let's at least stay remotely in the same zip code as the rails even if we're not
We're
on them.
drifting. We're flying.
Why
So-
start now?
Quick recap. If this is the first time you're joining us, the GSB belt at the beginning of let's see, it was the March tournament of this year. We decided that the 3rd iteration of the GSB belt would go to the winner of the very first match of the basho in March. That was a match between Dewa Taikai and Sawai Samu. And Dewa Taikai won it. And anybody who beat him would take the belt off of him. And anybody who beat that person would take the belt off of them. And we'd see how long it takes for the belt to go from the very bottom of the Jonakuchi division all the way to the top of the Makuuchi division. At the same time, we started a belt at the very top. We said, Takerufuji, you've got the belt. And we're going to see how long it takes for you to lose the belt all the way down. So whoever loses the match wins, quote unquote, wins the belt. And we'll see how long it takes for that belt to go down while we have the other belt coming up. We've done this a couple times. Let's see. When was the first time we started? All the way back in 2019, we started the first iteration, which took a couple years to get to the top. The second belt stalled out in Makushita for like 2 years or something ridiculous. But this 3rd iteration, we have the 3rd iteration of the belt that's moving up. That is currently on Hatsuyama. Hatsuyama is at Makushita 1 West. So what happened with the second belt is very likely to happen to this one.
Oh no.
So in order for somebody to move the belt from the Makushita division into the Juryo division, they have to be not just the Yusho winner at the end of all 7 of their matches, but they also have to be in the top, 7-ish ranks of Makushita in order to get promoted into Juryo. So our first belt, we got lucky. Our second belt, very unlucky. This belt, we'll see what happens. We got a couple options because sometimes guys from Juryo and guys from Makushita face off against each other. So I don't know. We call those exchange bouts. Maybe that'll move the belt up. We'll see. The same kind of situation is going on for our loser's belt that's working its way down the ranks. That is currently sitting on Bushozan, who is the dead last rock bottom Rikishi in the top division. If Bushozan loses to somebody in Juryo, which not impossible, that belt could move down even faster than anticipated. Whoever loses the match that Bushozan has on day 1 will keep the belt, and whoever loses the next match will move down, and so on. So yeah, it could possibly be an exchange bout for Bushozan and somebody in Juryo. Very, very reasonable odds that he loses a match to somebody in Juryo. Over our break, Ryan pointed out if Takerufuji sits this one out and there's an odd number of wrestlers competing in the top division, Bushozan is first on the chopping block to have a match against somebody in Juryo. Like potentially, correct me if I'm wrong here, but if Takerufuji sits out, Bushozan would face off against the top guy in Juryo, Kitanowaka, on day 1. That sound about right?
Yep.
So the best guy in Juryo versus the worst guy in Makuuchi, odds aren't bad. We'll see if the belt moves down, but either way, or I'm sorry, I take it back. If Bushozan faces off against Kitanowaka, and Bushozan wins, that would move the belt down because the loser gets the belt. And that has thrown my ass off like 5 or 6 times already in this belt that we've only been doing for like 4 tournaments.
Every single time, yeah.
It's so difficult to wrap my head around it after 5 years of doing the winner's belt. God. Ugh. Point is, both belts are in weird positions where the exchange with the next division that they're going after is the conflict that we're keeping an eye on. So if you are keeping track at home, because I know a couple guys on Twitter do, Bushozan has the loser's belt and Hatsuyama has the winner's belt. Very possible they could even cross paths in this Basho, but we'll see what happens.
They're sandwiching Juryo. If both get into Juryo, we'll see where those end up. So let's get to our champ chump predictions. Our loser last time is our late coming Flyric, and because he showed up late, he was able to avoid his spicy food challenge for this episode.
Let's hope his picks are spicy.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't know. I'm trying.
So
Come our recap, he will not be so lucky.
Yeah. So the punishment of me losing last time was I have to eat some spicy food. And unfortunately, with scheduling conflicts, I could not make the first half. And so it's going to be pushed back into the review. I know half, even though it's definitely the larger portion. Before.
No, I was mocking you for saying scheduling conflicts. Oh, yeah, sure.
You know full well that this was all on all of us right here. I'm just the one that just offered to step back on this.
No, I know.
Exactly.
And I'm sure it was Frisbee related because it's always Frisbee related, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, nailed it.
Knew it.
Yeah. I need to learn how to jump, Jake. I need to learn how to jump.
Pulling the curtain back, scheduling this episode was literal hell because there was
oh my God,
no days where all 4 of us could do it. And so Flyric, being the gracious homie that he is, was like, I could sit out this one.
I'll sit out and I'll hop on if you guys are still going ridiculously late when I am available.
Yeah.
And we were.
And yes, lo and behold.
So, because Flyric is our reigning, defending, undisputed loser, he gets the first pick in our champ prediction. So, Flyric, who will be your first pick?
So this is interesting because normally I listen to the first half of this episode and I learn what's going on with all the people, like who's going to actually be in the Basho or not. So this is going to be a little bit
everybody
spooky.
except Takerufuji is our guess.
Yep.
Oh,
I like how you say listen to, not participate in.
Sometimes it's just listening to. I'm just here for getting us off the rails every once in a while. I know my role.
Yeah.
You're the wild
Anyways,
card.
So you're very kind there, Jake. Not Jake, but Ryan. Are you Yokozuna, Ryan? Or no,
I
already
am.
did that
I
stuff.
won last time. It's the best. It's so much fun.
So you're kind with information. So I'll give you one more Yokozuna, Ryan. I appreciate that. I'm going to go with for my first pick of champ, who I think is going to do the best at this Basho, none other than the reigning Rikishi of Onosato.
Fair.
Yeah, and that was our consensus, was like, probably not, like, I wouldn't take him over the field like everybody else to win the Yusho, but if anybody, he's got the best odds.
Yeah. I don't know. I look at this guy just sauntering in, taking the best possible pick. Unbelievable.
You knew it was going to
jerk.
happen.
Yeah, no, I know, but we talked enough that I have already come to terms with my second choice, and as the next pick, I will take for my champ Koto Sakura. Feels like a super conservative pick, but as we've established, I am the wettest blanket that there is, and I ain't here for your entertainment. I'm here for my not losing, which I've succeeded at a little bit recently.
Has it been established you're the wettest blanket ever? Like, I need some
in
more
this
concrete
episode.
examples.
In this episode, at least, yeah.
Most episodes.
Most episodes, I'm the guy that goes with like the coldest, like as logical as possible stats, and that I have been leaning hard into that one today.
I see.
All right, Matt,
I'm getting the lore. This is good.
I don't want it. This is hard. It's like the 2 that I wanted are gone.
Imagine that.
Yeah, right. Son of a bitch. Screw it. Let's do it. Takerufuji.
You, Mac.
Yes.
Let's go.
Oh God, I don't even care if he wins. Getting that reaction out of Ryan was worth it.
All of the talk, like I was the only one on the Takerufuji train. Like we were talking about who's your 3 Yusho contenders, and Max like Onosato, Kirishima, Koto Sakura. Nobody says anything about Takerufuji, and then it comes to chump prediction time. Max like, we'll do fucking Takerufuji for no
Because
goddamn reason.
why not?
This is
Because
how you
think
know
Kirishima's gonna do better than him. You already said you did.
these new mics are
This
really
is
doing
exactly
their best
why
to.
I chose Takerufuji.
I appreciate that we have both sides of the coin where it's like, what do I want my listeners to think my thoughts are? And then it comes down to like when it's actually on the line, Max like, absolutely not. I'm picking the guy.
Exactly.
I'm doing it. I'm diving in.
I think it's a little different from who do you think is going to win the Yusho and who's like going to actually get consistently a lot of wins.
Absolutely.
And
And that's what I was like.
Takerufuji-
I think he's going to get quite a few wins.
To some
There's
extent,
no way he
yes,
doesn't get
but,
double
like,
digit wins, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like in the first segment, we're talking about, trying to be analytical, trying to like make, accurate predictions and stuff. But when like I just love that our podcast, we have our asses on the line a little bit, and that kind of brings out different sides of us. And have I vamped long enough for Ryan to actually pick a
Ryan's
third
face
guy,
this
or
whole
what are you
time
gonna do?
has
I
been
mean,
nothing but frustration.
And I was trying. I like, damn it. I mean, I'm gonna take Kirishima. I mean,
But clearly,
really,
you hate it.
really,
Clearly.
like I believe in Kirishima, but I really believe in Takerufuji.
Yeah.
And I knew Onosato was never making it to me, so I didn't have that hope. But I'm like, the way they're talking, really feel like Jake's gonna pick Koto Sakura, and that happened. And I really feel like Mac's gonna pick Kirishima because that's what he was talking about before. And Takerufuji's gonna fall right to me, and then
Yep.
I didn't even think who I wanted to take for my chump pick.
You didn't even have it on your list, did you? To like pick a fourth, have a fourth pick.
Nah, I mean Kirishima would always been my fourth. I just really thought Takerufuji was gonna fall to me.
Shodai is right there, Ryan. You can still
Shodai went
switch it out.
10-5 with a similar record last time. Like, I don't believe in the guy, but I'm looking for the 3-12, 4-11s. And when I'm looking for 3-12, 4-11, and Bushozan's on the board, you pick Bushozan.
Yeah.
You go on Bushozan?
I'm going Bushozan.
No, I didn't spell his name. I think that's how you do his name.
It's Japanese.
Bush-
It's phonetic.
Ozan.
Bushozan. All right, hang on. Let me get my accent. Okay, cool. I actually got my number one pick. Oh no, Katsu.
Okay.
Matsu.
You're gonna ruin a great champ pick with a ho hum chump pick.
So long as it's better than your picks.
That's bold
That's
right.
words there, Ryan. Are you gonna throw down a prediction point on this?
Me and Jake.
No,
Oh,
yeah, no.
Jake.
There's actually some that's going on right now. Flyric.
Are you going to officially accept the bet?
No. No, I'm not going to do it. I can't.
Ryan is enraged.
All right.
Oh,
So yeah,
man.
Flyric, Ryan earlier
Catch me
he
up.
bet me he would get a bonus point if Kirishima did
Oh.
better than Wakatakakage, and I would get a bonus point if Wakatakakage did better than Kirishima.
Hot damn.
And gosh, Ryan's just so heartbroken already. It would be
Is this a
wrong
fucking
of
joke
me.
to you guys? It's
It would
like,
be wrong
is that
of
what
me
this
not
is?
to
Is this
pile
just like,
on.
ha ha ha, let's talk and do all this stuff in the first half, and then let's build Ryan up, and then, ha ha, joke's on you, Ryan.
Gotcha.
We didn't mean anything we said at the beginning, rendering all of our conversation previously completely useless.
Oh no. What
Just
we
for
were
a
saying
little
before,
joke
it's like
on me.
no. What we were saying before was completely legitimate. But now that points are on the line, okay, now we're really gonna have to think about this.
Exactly.
No, Ryan, what this truly is about is pain at this point for you. It doesn't matter what we actually think. It's more about just causing you
I
pain.
don't even care.
Flyric
anymore.
reminded us that you're the Yokozuna, so we have to pile on.
I mean,
I would make a joke about like pulling the rug out from under you, but like I can see that you're sitting on a wheelie chair, so I don't think that would really be a good metaphor to like actually. Yeah, I don't know. It's my pick, and I'm obviously just vamping because like I got nothing. Like this is not one where we have
No,
like
this sucked.
yeah. I mean I don't want to necessarily pile on and grab somebody from the very bottom, even though like I don't know maybe. if I'm a jerk, Shishi or maybe Asakoryu, those guys making their top division debuts, more than likely they're probably not going to do great. But there's also nobody up in like the top, like the Maegashira 1 through 4 that doesn't deserve to be there. You know, like that's another place where we often take picks. And I'm doing it again. I'm just vamping because like I have absolutely no clue on what I want to pick here. I could go with I could pile on to the joke from earlier and say Churano Umi. I don't know who that is, so he can't be that good at sumo.
Back-to-back 10
But
and
he
5.
might
He's
be
very
okay at
exciting.
He might be okay.
I mean, at this point, I don't know. I probably won't even watch this Basho now.
I think I'm gonna go with Toki Hayate. I've been
Okay.
very, very unimpressed with him as a top division wrestler.
All
I
one
just-
Basho we've seen of him.
Well, yeah, but like it was bad, and then he barely made it back. Right? Like it's not like
6 and 9.
I've
was
been
last Basho. He was a hard sneeze away, and he got that hard sneeze. He made it.
There you go with that damn saying again.
You're not going to make me feel bad about it. I don't think he's going to do good. I think he's just going to.
No,
He's-
it's fair.
Yeah. I don't
I'm just
know.
saying it's like it was 1 6 and 9. I mean, it's not like
No.
it's not like he was Bushozaning it up.
Yeah. But no, yeah, like I said, there's no obvious picks here. But yeah, Flyric, moving on to your pick. So who's Flyric's jump here?
I was hoping I'll actually get that guy from you. He was my top chump pick. And yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna actually go off of what I prepared before. And I'm gonna go with Asakoryu
Okay.
as my chump.
So we got a
Going
brawl
off
at the bottom of the Bansuke.
Hell yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot
Nice.
of bonus points on this.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, finally.
This is gonna be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So yeah, the way our
no
scoring works
bonus
is our
bets.
champs, you get a point for every win that your champ gets. You get a bonus point if your champ beats another champ. And you get bonus points for Yusho, Jun Yusho, special prizes, etc. And your chump, you earn 1 point by getting or you earn 1 point for every loss your chump takes, or a bonus point if your chump loses to another chump.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if we got all 4 guys in the bottom 3 ranks here, this is going to
Yeah.
be
A bloodbath.
absolutely. I think our scores are going to be high because all our champs are going to face each other. Probably also max, but we'll see if Takerufuji does well enough. But our chumps are for sure all going to face each other.
Yeah, within
yeah.
like the first 4 or 5 days.
For sure. Yeah, just immediately. So yeah, it very well could be the case that our champ chump prediction series is handled by Midway.
All right, so our punishment for this Basho has already happened. They've already punished me throughout this whole champ jump selection
you
process. So
forfeiting?
don't.
I think he's
worry about
forfeiting.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
We'll
I'm
let you
not
be the
forfeiting.
chump.
I'm not forfeiting.
You can
I'm
be
just-
the loser.
I'm just very upset with
My
all of it.
GSB chump is Ryan.
Oh damn, Jake's winning.
I got you guys. Suck it.
No, as per our new tradition, the punishment will be per the Yokozuna's choice on the recap episode. So I'll let you know on the recap what the punishment will be.
Oh.
I have faith in my Kirishima Bushozan team. You cannot shake me from that faith. It's the team that I always wanted from the beginning. Haha. This is definitely what I wanted
There
the
is
whole time.
no enthusiasm behind that.
I'm not avoiding eye contact on purpose, I swear.
Send us your predictions for what you think is going to happen in this Basho on Twitter. We've got our bold predictions thread up there in our Discord. If you are a Patreon and you are signed up for our Discord server, our bold predictions are available there. You can send them any which way you want. Send them in an email, send them in a voicemail, put them in the YouTube comments. Any way you get our bold predictions, we'll find them and we'll read the worst, the goodest, but then the best also.
Yes, and that is how you get a free GSB t-shirt. So if you
Yes.
don't miss all the shots you don't take. So make a bold prediction. If it comes true, you could be on in the running for a free t-shirt.
All right, and let's talk about what everybody is most excited for this Basho. And let's start by giving the floor to Flyric, because this will be really his first chance to talk about what is
Yes.
happening in this upcoming Basho. So Flyric, what are you most excited for?
Holy shit. That's a very good question. I guess Probably just two things. Onosato, three things actually. Onosato, whether he can repeat. Kirishima, if he can actually put together an Ozeki run.
Flair,
And
quick question. Who would you take this Basho to have more wins? Kirishima or Wakatakakage?
Kirishima.
Okay.
100%. Picking Wakatakakage is just foolishness.
Flair's always had a thing against Wakatakakage.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Although he does have a repaired ACL.
Yeah.
And I've heard that once you repair it, sometimes they're stronger than the weaker ones. So.
I see. He's part cyborg now.
Yeah, he might be.
That's
Is that what finally
Something.
turned you around on Wakatakakage?
No, he's hot trash still.
Oh,
But he's going to do well. But not that
no,
well.
I'm saying Kirishima's gonna do better.
yeah, okay. All right,
Yeah.
whatever. But does
He only thinks
Kirishima have any?
Kirishima's going to get 5 wins.
Is Kirishima a cyborg though?
You can only find out.
Tough
later.
to say.
But anyway, and the closeout then would be Takerufuji, whether or not it was a fluke or not, how well he would do. So it's gonna be fun. Can't wait.
Yeah, for me, I do think for me, I really want to see what Takerufuji can do at the bottom of the division again. Like if he can have lightning strike twice and like his first 2 Bashos, he wins the U show because he is just an absolute freight train of a man and just barely anything can stand in his way. That would just be so amazing and fantastic and would show that him and Onosato are going to be here to run the division for a long time. And that would be amazing. So hopefully, the thing I'm most excited for, potential Takerufuji versus Onosato matchup when Takerufuji steamrolls through the bottom of the division.
If I can be crappy for a second, this is his 3rd Basho in the top division.
Boo.
Oh man! Oh god!
Boo.
Wow. He's almost gonna snap there. Yep.
oh,
Takerufuji.
You know what I mean.
Takerufuji. He won that first U show and he got promoted all the way to Maegashira 6, but he had to sit that whole Basho out, so he got kicked down to Juryo. So this is
So
technically
yes, his 3rd top division Basho. Blah, blah, blah.
and winning 2 of your top 3, not nearly as good as winning your first 2. So.
Stop being a wet blanket.
It's
Can't you
hard.
see I'm already a broken man?
I was gonna say it's really hard to stop being this particular brand of wet blanket when it's clearly having such an effect on you.
I hate my friends.
for
Who else is
me,
excited for things? Who could still feel excitement?
Ryan's like, I don't even
I got
care,
the
whatever."
excitement right here. He's going to be sitting with me, computer side, as we watch the tournament. I want this Ukrainian to get his 8-7 and prove that he can stay in the top division. That's all I want from you. That's it. Just stay there.
That's right.
Which Rickshaw is that, Mac? Which card
Shishi.
are you holding?
Shishi.
Yeah.
Shishi.
That's an impressive card that you got right there.
Yeah,
Did
thank
you
you
get
very
that from the trading card?
You're welcome, Mac.
That's what I said. Thank you. Yes, that was
Right.
from our trading card episodes.
Ryan's having a tough time here, Mac. We got to go easy on him. Sorry, Yokozuna Ryan is having a really tough time.
Aww.
Somehow somehow I imagine that.
How
hits
did you
worse.
make it patronizing?
It's like, oh, was that salt in the wound?
I am not going to pretend.
How dare you
otherwise.
all play
Ono's-
my competitiveness against me?
That's the problem is you win often enough that like we have to take our opportunities when we can. Sorry. Okay. So the thing I'm most excited for, I'm not going to pretend otherwise. I'm an Amazumo guy. So Onosato and now Shishi, they're my guys. Takerufuji as well. He's kind of in that boat, but like all 3 of those guys, but particularly Onosato. I want
What about
Onosato to
Mitakeyumi or Hokuto Fuji that came from with amateur sumo backgrounds, came from university. What about Endo? What about all these guys?
You're saying this like that's going to change my mind. I like all of those guys. I love Amazumo. I love the fact that, there's multiple paths to become a great, to become a Yokozuna. And I think Onosato has an excellent chance at it. I want to watch his continued ascension and the greatest amateur wrestler of all time, potentially becoming in the conversation of like greatest pro sumo wrestler of all time. That would be pretty freaking rad. So yes, that's absolutely what I'm watching for. I'm not going to pretend that anything else is going to top that storyline for this Basho for me.
Right on.
So that should cover just about
What?
everything. Oh,
Has Max said anything yet? Oh, you just said Chishi.
I had Chishi. I held up the Chishi card.
I do remember. Go ahead, Ryan. Continue. I'm
may.
just trying to delay this because I missed so much. I want to make the second half as long as the
Flyric,
first half.
let's open up the floor to you. What else do you want to talk about, buddy? We're here for you. I got
feel like-
nothing else to do tonight.
Ryan,
And
yeah,
talking
Ryan's
to
got
my
nothing.
best
Just humor
friend
him.
Flyric is
you
only
go.
going to raise my spirits.
Yeah,
My
I feel like we have
best
not
friend.
talked about.
My bestest friend, Flyric.
This is a Rikishi that has not been talked out nearly enough, and he's at his highest rank. But how do we think Oho is going to do at Mega
Too late. We already talked about it, Flyric. Bring something new to the table, damn it. Listen to the
fuck
start
you.
of the episode.
Should have listened
no way
like
I'm-
you normally listen to and not participate in.
All right, I'm no longer having fun. Take me out. Take me away.
His work completed. Flag is ready to be out.
That should cover everything you would ever want to know about the upcoming Kyushu Basho, which will be starting on Sunday, November 10th. Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Throw salt in the eyes of your friends and keep moving forward.